Imagine you've got like a beautifully integrated legacy AV setup, giant analog monitors perfectly wired through the walls, just a gorgeous system.
Right, the kind that costs thousands of dollars to install.
Exactly. And then you buy a brand new streaming device, you go to plug it in, and nothing.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Because the new tech speaks a completely different physical language than your displays. It's super frustrating.
It's a huge headache for a lot of people, honestly.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into a catalog page from HDTVSupply. They're a company that's been in the AV trenches for, 25 years now?
Yeah, about 25 years. They definitely know their stuff.
Right, so we want to see how the industry actually bridges that gap for you.
Mm.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're looking at a very specific piece of hardware today, an HDMI to component video and VGA converter. Basically, the thing that keeps older gear from ending up in a landfill.
Yeah, technically it's the SmartAVI V2V-H2V-01-S, which, it sounds like a totally random string of numbers.
It really does.
Okay.
It rolls right off the tongue.
Right, but it actually represents this crucial piece of hidden infrastructure. It's a dedicated device that takes a modern digital HDMI signal and physically alters it. That way, your older analog equipment can actually read it.
So instead of tossing a perfectly good monitor just because, the ports change shapes, this device steps in.
Exactly. It takes an HDMI 1.2A or 1.3B input and basically splits it out.
Well, it's not just translating a language, right? Like, it's changing the medium entirely. I was thinking about, okay, it's like taking a perfectly typed digital email, which is the HDMI signal, and having someone flawlessly transcribe it into a continuous handwritten letter, the analog signal in real time, without losing a single word of quality.
Oh, I actually really like that analogy. Yes.
Sure.
And that handwritten letter takes the form of either standard VGA video or YPbPr.
Which most people probably just know as component video, right? With those red, green, and blue cables.
Yep, the classic red, green, and blue ones. And at the exact same time, it strips out the audio track and sends it through standard left-right stereo cables, or SPDIF.
Wait, SPDIF, just real quick, what is that for anyone listening who might not be an audio nerd?
Oh, sure. SPDIF is simply a digital audio format. It uses optical or coaxial cables to keep the sound totally pristine before it hits your speakers. So this box is juggling both the audio and the video conversion simultaneously.
Doing all of that in real time just sounds like it would ruin the picture, honestly.
You'd think so, yeah. But the manufacturer specifically claims no loss of quality. It supports resolutions up to 1080i, which is high-definition interlaced video, and WUXGA.
And just to clarify, WUXGA is basically a widescreen format you'd commonly see in high-end computer monitors or projectors.
Right, exactly. Also, it's HDCP 1.2 compliant.
Okay, the digital bouncer.
Yes. For the listener, HDCP basically acts like a digital bouncer. It's an anti-piracy protocol built into modern HDMI signals.
So if your converter doesn't have the right digital handshake?
Right. If it's not compliant, the modern media player just completely refuses to send the signal. You'd just be staring at a blank screen. But this device passes that bouncer's check to keep the video flowing.
Okay, but translating a digital signal to an analog one isn't just a clever software trick. It requires serious physical hardware, which has to introduce some hard physical limits.
Oh, definitely. The physical boundaries are actually quite strict. You can only run an HDMI cable 25 feet into this box.
Just 25 feet.
Yeah. And more importantly, the analog outputs, the VGA and the audio, they max out at a hard 30 feet.
Wait, why is that?
Well, analog signals are continuous electrical waves. The longer they travel down a wire, the more they physically degrade and pick up interference.
Right, whereas digital HDMI signals are just discrete data packets. They either arrive perfectly or they just don't.
Exactly. An analog wave just gets super muddy over distance.
Wait, so with a strict 30-foot maximum output distance, you definitely aren't wiring a massive sports bar or a stadium with this thing. You'd lose the signal way before it reached the TVs.
Oh, absolutely not. You wouldn't push this across a giant commercial venue. It's really the missing puzzle piece for a confined space.
Highly specific then, like a localized fix for a single room or maybe a server rack.
Spot on. Think of a localized AV rack, where an older, reliable legacy monitor sits right next to a brand new digital switcher. It solves that immediate compatibility problem right at the source.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Basically, for about $299, and I think it actually includes a 1-year warranty too,
Yeah.
You get this highly specialized, easy-to-install tool.
Yeah, that 1-year warranty is definitely nice. It's the unseen glue of the AV industry, really.
It just keeps legacy AV gear alive and relevant in a high-def digital world. It stops perfectly functional, expensive tech from becoming obsolete overnight just because consumer standards shifted.
Completely agree.
Which leaves us with a pretty wild thought to mull over before we go.
Yeah.
If we need a dedicated $299 converter just to make an old VGA monitor understand today's HDMI, what kind of insanely complex translators are we going to need in 20 years? When all of our current cutting-edge HDMI tech inevitably becomes the legacy equipment of tomorrow.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really good question.
As it turns out, that clean break of technological progress is really just translators all the way down.